Guys, this is Junior Felix, and I'm here with Max and Sam Eggers, directors and writers of the new absolutely bonkers Front Room. Guys, I love this movie. It was so unhinged and and you know you've done a good job when I'm leaving the theater and people were so like confused and they were just like, "What did I just watch?" And I'm like, "That's a good sign right there." How you guys doing?
Thank
We're
you.
good. We're good.
We're good. Really appreciate you
Really
saying
appreciate
that.
saying that.
No, man. I spoke to my buddy Joe Russo this morning. He watched it last
Hmm.
night and he loved it. So,
Good,
uh,
good, good, good. I'm
That's
glad.
great. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, every time we see it with an audience, it's always a wild experience.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
it's one of those films that, I don't know that people fully expect the breadth of it, obviously, or what happens in it, I should say. But it's always, the movie starts out sort of slow as it does naturally, and then it picks up.
yeah,
And I think every time we see it, the amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Engagement with it is wonderful. And I think
yeah,
if, like you said, if people leave going, what just happened? Like, or did that actually happen?
yeah.
I think that's something we were definitely looking for.
Mhm.
Now, the front room was started off as a short story.
Yeah.
What drew you guys to that story, and what did you want to expand more when turning this into a film?
Well, we were lucky enough that it was brought to us by our producers, Luke and Toe, Baba Kanvari, Brian Sonderman. And we've known Susan Hill, forever from The Woman in Black, and that
Yeah,
she's an incredible writer. And so when they told us they had the story, we were interested in it on that level. But then when they sort of said to us, it's about, a family taking care of a grandmother she declines, we knew exactly what that was like. And as we read it, knew immediately what we could do to expand it because we took care of our grandfather as he declined.
yeah,
And so basically, it was a matter of please, can we do it? Because we know exactly how to expand it. And when we were lucky enough to get it and on it, we sort of took the story, which is set in England, and Solange is not religious, Belinda and Norman are religious. We took it to America and flipped that on its head. It's sort of just to make it uh, personal, but also make it more relevant to a modern audience. That sort of dynamic of older religious person, younger, not. There was that sort of natural, like, you know, thing that is happening today.
and that's what I trip out on with that aspect is it hits home, especially here in the
Yeah.
United States, way
Yeah.
more than in the UK. So it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
those nuts. Now, Kathryn Hunter. She was incredible. She really steals, for me, she steals the whole film.
Yeah.
Mhm.
About her casting and what she brought to this role that you guys were just like, this, she's it.
I mean, I mean, in a way, she speaks for herself, but no, but she basically, we had a hard time casting Solange. There were a lot of people who we approached, honestly, would be like, I'm not comfortable farting on camera, like literally. And so, like, and like, I understand that. I totally respect that. It's hard to argue that. But then, Zach Sullivan from the studio was like, hey, we worked with Catherine on Macbeth. Have you guys thought of her for the role? And we truthfully, we knew of her and knew her work from The Tempest, I think.
Well, Midsummer Night's
Midsummer
Dream.
Night's Dream, sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, we checked out the film and we were like, holy shit, if somehow she likes it, this could be the person because what she brings to the character is a physicality
Yeah.
that the role requires. And I think from her work, you can see a sense she doesn't really have an ego about it's all about this in service of the character and the story for her. And I think those two things, along with a natural ability to sort of be a chameleon, especially with the accent and with the makeup that we asked
Mhm.
her to wear, it was really those things that drew us to
Yeah.
her. I mean,
Yeah.
her facility for language and above all else, I think it's that physical stuff that she does that nobody else could do.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, when I got home, I could still hear the canes
Well, that's
around the hallway.
but that's Susan Hill's genius too, She in the short story, tap tap shuffle shuffle. That's what
Yeah.
they would. So when you read that, and again, we were naive, I think, about who could embody that, and it could only be Catherine, you
Yeah.
know.
Now, Brandy, you guys, for me, it's been a minute since I've seen Brandy like full
Yeah.
on badass horror Brandy. You know, Disney Brandy's cool,
Yes.
but to bring it back to, I know what you did last summer kind of
Yeah.
Brandy was
Yeah.
thank you for that. What was it like bringing her on board? And she went all over the place with it, which is amazing.
Yeah,
It was great. It was great. We were so lucky. Like, similarly, I think we were. It's funny you say like she is Cinderella,
Yeah.
as well. And so honestly, when we had our wicked stepmother, we needed a Cinderella, and it was a challenge to find someone who's willing to go through what Belinda goes through. And Brandy, again, she connected with material, and we were so lucky that she dug it. And when we talked with her, that she liked us, and I just that she wanted to do it. It was amazing. And I think, but truly, it goes down to we needed somebody that the audience could connect with immediately, could identify with, could root for, could sit through with them this madness. And I think, again, just Brandy's every time we asked her to do something and stretch herself and go for it, she was incredible. It was from the moment we saw her in person, because again, this was COVID time. So like we met her on Zoom. And so the first time she walked into rehearsals, it was like, there's Belinda. It was really,
there's
really
Belinda, but then also it was like, oh, there's Moesha.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it was hard, and
that's
obviously we always are like so sorry for saying this, but it's
Yeah.
like it's just
It was
we
surreal.
grew up with her
Yeah.
in so many ways, and truth, like Max said, she's our Cinderella, and so yeah, that with the evil stepmother archetype, that was a natural fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the story could have easily taken a turn to supernatural extremes,
Mhm.
but ultimately it keeps the horror a little bit more grounded.
Mhm.
Was that always the intention? Did you ever have to change a scene or idea to keep in line with the approach that you guys are going for?
It was, I think, the ambiguity was a big thing. And I think it was always the intention that there was a big question mark about what was actually going on.
Yeah.
That kind of horror really excites both of us. I think, the horror of the ambiguous is really, really, when you get it right, can be really effective and far-reaching as far as, over the course of a story or a movie. And I think when you take care of someone who's declining, obviously you're not. I guess if they are charismatic Christians like Solange's, maybe there is the Holy Spirit activity.
Yeah.
That itself is quite surreal and horrific. And I think, it's something where we are really only scratching the surface here. So all those things, I would say, it was always our intention for it to be something ambiguous and to hopefully have people wonder how much of what I saw was real, how reliable was our narrator.
Was there a scene that you guys are most proud of in the film that you guys got to pull off?
That's a good question.
I mean, I would say the scene where Solange puts the napkin on her head. I would say
Oh
that
God.
was the scene that we were the most. And it's funny. It's not that it didn't require work at all. Of course it did. It was a long day, but like when we were in rehearsals, there was an electricity even there on that level that was like just so exciting to witness. And I think given how hard it was personally for them, like we mentioned, Kathryn would say like, I'm really sorry to Brandy in between things. 'Cause, like they're not like that at all. Kathryn's not that.
Something
And so that was, I mean, the fact that they would go there and it was this just like epic insanity was so great to me.
I agree. I mean, I think truthfully, there's one moment. So we storyboarded the whole film,
Mm.
probably went overboard in that way. But there's a moment, a literal shot. I don't know if you remember, but it's after Solange throws herself on the table and she's all bloody, and she has the sort of wrap around her head. There's a shot through a doorway where Catherine kind of does like this and stares at Belinda. We have a storyboard that's exactly that, and we showed it to Catherine, and she just did it exactly. And I think for me, there's so many, like you just said, that's a great one, but that literal shot is just a recreation of what we thought, and so that's I'm like every time I see it, I'm like, thank you.
That's awesome. Real fast. I love the fisheye lenses. So was there a reason you guys used it more than a few times? I mean, I thought it
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah, I think I mean again, that's credit to Ava, our amazing cinematographer. I mean, we had a lot of discussions about how to make the surreal real,
Yeah.
how to film that. And I think they took a lot of inspiration from many places, but I think we're very insistent on using those lenses strategically and sort of as the film goes on, things get more warped, basically. And that was a big sort of through line for them.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was a pleasure to talk to you guys. I want more people to see the front room. I hope it does great this weekend.
Thank you.
I know you guys got Beetlejuice to go up against, but
Beetle Who? That's what I say.
exactly. But it was a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys are killing it. And I can't
Thank
wait for
you.
more people to see this.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.